We were thinking of mythical creatures, a giant being walked by a little girl, giant walker. We don't know that well, actually.
Nah, clearly not. Listen
Ultimately, it's just rock and roll.
I'm Steph and I'm the vocalist of the band Giant Walker. I'm also a vocal coach and my hobbies include drinking lots of cups of tea and baking sourdough bread because I'm secretly 90 years old.
And I am Jamie. I play guitar in the same band. My hobbies include playing video games when I get the time. I also enjoy music production and mixing and all that good stuff. Anything audiophile.
And then we've also got Jordan and Alex, who are not here, but are also in the band. Jordan plays bass and Alex plays drums. Jordan's hobby is perfecting his pesto pasta recipe. As for Alex?
Alex likes playing drums. And he teaches drums.
He teaches drums, plays lots of drums. Go follow him on YouTube.
He's a very good drummer.
He's a great drummer. That's because he spends all his time playing drums.
Yeah.
He also likes
unlike Jordan, who spends all his time making pesto pasta.
Alex also likes going for long walks.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't know what else Alex likes doing.
We don't know him that well, actually.
Nah, clearly not.
Yeah. He collects vinyls.
He
does collect vinyls.
We do
he has
know
a
that.
stonking collection of music and anything physical. He's getting back into tangible assets, we shall say. There is
a very, very deep story.
Maybe not so deep. Well, first and foremost, it's really hard trying to come up with a band name, because, or at least we thought it is, because sometimes you think of a band name and it's like, or you think of your favourite band or favourite bands and you're like, do I actually enjoy it, like the name? And
yeah, the music clouds your judgment of the band name.
Yeah, when you just take the name on face value, like, is it a good name or not?
Yeah. What were the names that we thought of at the time that were actually?
Well, we were thinking of mythical creatures, like the Jabberwocky and the Tantrabobus and stuff, and we were like, oh, that would be quite a cool band name. And then none of them really stuck. And then Jordan kind of took the idea and ran with it a bit and started looking at the, folklore creatures, and then imagined, just imagery came to him of a giant being walked like a dog by a little girl. So that kind of like juxtaposition, is that the right word?
That's the word.
For it? Yeah, of a giant being walked by something really vulnerable and being like a slave to this small child, which was pretty cool. Yeah. And then Giant Walker, and then that was it. I would describe our music as heavy rock with some progressive influences. We've talked about it loads of times, like inevitably people are just going to listen to it and say it sounds like X, Y and Z mashed together. And it's
always a problem, I think, when you tell someone, oh, it sounds like this, because then I've been in that position before where a friend has gone like, oh, you need to check these out, they sound like this. And then you automatically have that preconceived idea of what you're expecting based on what they've said, and then I don't know, I feel like that clouds the listening. Mm-hmm. So mainly listen
ultimately
to it.
It's just rock and roll.
So I would say it's quite a few different artists depending on who you ask, I suppose, but then we all kind of have a group of artists that we all really like. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I think the core influences for the majority of the people in the band would probably be Soundgarden, Queens of the Stone Age, more recently bands like Carnival, Radiohead, kind of getting a bit more, they kind of add the more progressive elements to it.
Deftones, I guess.
Yeah.
Tends to come up quite a lot, which is quite interesting. I would say probably Alex is the main Deftones influence.
Yeah.
And he brings kind of maybe more of the progressive Miss Sugar and that kind of stuff.
But
and
saying that, Alex probably has the broadest taste of everyone, because he
true.
listens everything from Keith Urban, Ariana Grande, all the way through to some pretty raucous material.
Yeah.
So,
whereas I would say me, Jamie and Jordan are probably
a bit more traditional.
You've got your classic rock,
Yeah, your
Like,
90s grunge,
90s
era
grunge.
kind of things, which is... I've always gravitated towards like slightly like darker edged stuff. Maybe with like a tiny bit of angst.
Or just stuff
in there.
that's like, I would say, like got some kind of interesting like harmonic stuff going on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So even
Yeah,
if it's not necessarily in the style, but like Joni Mitchell and
Yeah,
and
good shout.
and jazzier stuff as well, like in that kind of vibe stuff that's like a little bit more interesting, that kind of catches you off guard. I would say that definitely.
Yeah, Sting.
Yeah, gotta get
Little bit
that
of
in there.
Sting.
Yeah, so a bit of a
Mishmash.
mish of stuff.
Isn't it always?
Yeah. It depends if you're doing the full band history, or just the Giant Walker band history, because we've been playing together as a collective 4-piece since 2015. During COVID, basically, we, kind of remotely wrote an album and did a lot of reflecting, as I think everyone did during that time, and decided to do a bit of a refresher everything, and came about as Giant Walker with our debut album. So I would say probably that.
Yeah, ironically, yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, I guess obviously we released the album in 2022, so we're fairly fresh on that side of things. I guess the other thing you could say is that we all met down south. So one of the most important things, whilst we didn't know at the time, was the fact that we all decided to move down south from Newcastle and met down south. Because if we hadn't, then we wouldn't be where we are today.